So what do you do when you're 50, you've got a decent chunk of cash, but you've got even more debt, and your retirement account is at a big, fat zero? This isn't just a hypothetical. It's a real-world problem from a real online forum, and today we're going to break down the answer, which, believe it or not, is surprisingly straightforward. Okay, let's just get right into it. Put yourself in these shoes for a second. You're 50 years old. You've worked hard and saved up 23 grand in cash. Awesome, right? But, and it's a big but, you're also carrying $30,000 in debt, and that retirement nest egg has, well, nothing in it. The clock is definitely ticking. So what is the smartest move right now?
All right, so let's start by really unpacking this very personal, very high-stakes financial puzzle. Here are the raw numbers, just laid out plain and simple. Age 50, $23,000 in the bank, $30,000 owed to creditors, and $0 saved for the future. The goal here is crystal clear, and it's urgent. You've got to build wealth, and fast, to tackle both the debt and that retirement gap. This puts you squarely at a fork in the road, doesn't it? Do you take that 23 grand and throw it into the market, hoping your investments grow faster than your debt's interest rate? That's option A. Or option B, do you use that cash to launch an all-out assault on that mountain of debt? This right here is the fundamental conflict we need to solve. So when this exact dilemma was put to an online community, a really clear consensus started to form. It all centers around a simple, powerful little framework we can call the 7% rule. And what's so fascinating is that for such a tough, personal financial problem, you'd expect the advice to be all over the place. But it wasn't. Not even close. The community came back with a really strong, almost unanimous recommendation. And it all boils down to this single number, 7%. This is the key. This one number basically unlocks the entire decision. So here's how it works. The stock market, over the long haul, historically averages somewhere around a 7 to 8% annual return, after you account for inflation. The 7% rule is simple. If the interest rate on your debt is higher than that, we're talking about those nasty high-interest credit cards or personal loans, then you are mathematically, almost without question, better off paying down that debt than investing. And this leads to a really powerful shift in how you should think about this. Paying off debt isn't just about reducing what you owe. It's about locking in a guaranteed return on your investment. One person in the discussion just hit the nail on the head. They put it perfectly. Wiping out a credit card with a 20% interest rate is basically the same as earning a guaranteed 20% return on your money. I mean, show me a stock market investment that can promise you that. You can't. And when you lay it out like this, the choice becomes, well, kind of obvious, right? You can roll the dice, invest in the market, and hope for an 8 to 10% return, which is never, ever guaranteed. Or you can pay off that 20% APR debt and get a 100% guaranteed return of 20% in the form of interest you no longer have to pay. It's a no-brainer. So just let that sink in for a second. Wiping out high-interest debt isn't a defensive move to just get back to zero. It's an offensive move. It's probably the single best, safest, and highest return investment available to you in this exact situation. Okay, so you follow the advice. The debt is handled. Now what? Well, this is where the story gets really hopeful. Now it's time to play retirement catch-up. As soon as that high-interest debt is out of your life, all the money that was just disappearing into interest payments is now freed up to build your future. And here's the best part. Being 50 or over gives you a secret weapon. Special rules from the IRS that actually let you save for retirement way more aggressively. So, with the debt gone, here's the 3-step game plan. First, if your employer offers a 401k match, you take every penny of it. It is literally free money, a guaranteed 100% return. That's non-negotiable. Second, you aim to max out a Roth IRA for that beautiful tax-free growth in retirement. And third, you use that secret weapon, those higher contribution limits just for people over 50. And here's how that works. On top of the standard amount everyone can put into an IRA, the IRS lets people 50 and over add an extra catch-up amount. Just like the people in the forum said, this can bring your total annual contribution up to around $7,000. And that extra runway, compounded over the next 15 years, it can make a massive, massive difference. So we have the numbers, we have the strategy, but the most important piece of advice that came out of this whole thing wasn't really about math at all. It was about mindset and the path forward. Following all these steps is a fantastic start. But one user made a comment that just cuts to the absolute heart of making this a permanent success and not just, a temporary fix. And here it is. This is the comment. The real challenge isn't just paying off the debt this one time. It's making sure that this becomes a real turning point, not just a reset button before the whole cycle starts over again. Ultimately, this whole exercise is about changing your financial habits for good. It's about shifting your mindset from paying your creditors first to paying yourself first, building your savings, building your future, building your own wealth. So, we've broken down the problem, we've found a clear rule, and we've laid out a solid plan. The framework is there. So the only question left for anyone facing a similar situation is, what's the very first step you're going to take to change your own story?